Welcome, dear viewers, to CouchWarrior TV on YouTube. I am the CouchWarrior, and you are watching Sagramour, the Mortal Blade. You know what? We are getting very close to the end of this series. There is still some discovery and fun to be had coming up, but initially my plan was to end this at 21 episodes. I am going to stretch it out a little bit longer because I think there are some things worth covering and some fun that we can have along the way. As we discussed in the last episode, we went over in detail what the loadout is now, and that loadout still applies. We have traveled to Skuldafn with the loadout from episode 20 in hand. So we've got all of our newly enchanted gear, and currently we are sitting at level 51. Now, I thought this would be a great opportunity to not only have some fun, but test the validity of the build from the combat perspective, and there's really no better place to do that than Skuldafn. So this episode is going to be all about getting through Skuldafn. If you are not familiar with Skuldafn, it's a fairly sizable kind of dungeon castle type of environment. It is really the preamble to the climax of the Alduin storyline in Skyrim. So if you haven't gone through that yet, you can follow along if you like. If you don't care about spoilers, this is going to be kind of a full walkthrough of Skuldafn and what lies beyond. And then in order to really test the validity of this build at level 50 with the perk spread that I have laid out in the build document, I'm going to be playing Skuldafn on legendary difficulty. And there are a couple of mods in place that will enhance the AI slightly, but I haven't gone overboard on combat modifications. So this is, I think, probably a great test of how this build will work, not only in a modded game, but also in a vanilla game. And this is going to give us a nice mix of both dragon combat and then some combat with very, high-level enemies, probably lots of Draugr, probably some lots of Death Lords and a few Overlords, as well as casters and all kinds of sort of interesting environments and situations. So, let's get to it here. I think, as you can see here, I'm just showing the setting screen so you can get a little bit of confirmation of where we're at. I'm going with legendary difficulty. This is sword and board almost exclusively, sword and board and shouts. If you haven't had a chance to really review the earlier episodes and understand the build-up that we've gone through to get to this point, this series is not a role play. It is a test of a build concept, and the results of this are being kind of put together in a complete document that will sort of give you some instruction and some ideas on how to lay out this build and how to assign perks at high level. Now, we also talk a lot about combat tactics, both against standard enemies and dragons. So we are going to have a chance to try some things out. I have hotkeyed the items that I think I will be using most frequently so that we can spend as little time in menu as possible. And this is going to be really just focused on combat, and I will be talking us through this adventure and discussing aspects of the build as they apply. So I hope you enjoy. Let's go have some fun. Let's see what Sagramour, the Mortal Blade, can do at level 51, legendary difficulty, Skuldafn. Let's do this.
This is as far as I can take you. Grifboth Akrin. I will look for your return. Or Alduin's.
Thank you, Odaving. All right. So, essentially what I've done here is I've hotkeyed my weapons, I've hotkeyed a healing spell, and I've hotkeyed 3 shouts for starters. These are shouts that I'm going to be using most frequently for crowd control. So one of those is ice form. We only have one word in the ice form shout. The other one is unrelenting force, which I have studied with Parthenax to maximize its damage. And then the third one that I will probably be changing out in the load order as we go along is Dragon Rend. So let's get started. We've got a variety of enemies to begin with here, so it's going to be interesting. All right. Where did that come from? Come on. Shield up seems to absorb some of the impact of those shouts. All right, where are the dragons here? Oh, here we go. Okay. Lock short circuits that breath weapon. Come on. We've got good stamina refresh. So that helps us conserve. Oh, man. Didn't intend to get into it with a dragon and a Death Lord at the same time. All right. Little crowd control the Death Lord there. All right, critical strike on the dragon. Obviously, I didn't get the dragon with the Sanctified Blade, so that is kind of a bummer. But I guess in the midst of combat with an Overlord, oh my gosh, yeah, it's an Overlord, and a dragon at the same time, somewhat understandable, right? All right, whew. Wow, look at that thing. Nord Hero Staff Axe. Beastly looking. All right. Search this dragon. A lot of gold, that's good. Now, if you remember, the Mortal Blade, with regard to collecting items from a dragon, every dragon that the Mortal Blade kills, and kills with a Sanctified Blade, we collect 1 dragon scale. 1 dragon scale that is used as a counter to keep track of the number of dragons slain, and that scale is deposited in a chest in Skyhaven Temple, and that is part of the ritual of killing a dragon. However, we only collect that scale if we actually use the Sanctified Blade to kill it. One of the things that I'm finding the most difficult about playing this character build is keeping track in the heat of battle how far down I have taken the dragon's health so that I know to go to Sanctified Blade at the right time. And so, but I feel like that's kind of an acceptable problem. It sort of makes sense to me. And it also, I think, illustrates some of the difficulty that should be inherent in playing a character that has this kind of combat restriction. There's a spiritual aspect to it. It's not supposed to be easy. You're not supposed to be successful every single time. And I think there's a lot of role play possibilities. Ooh, someone's a straggler down there. Okay. There's a lot of role play possibilities in that. What is the effect of not killing the dragon? with the Sanctified Blade. What does that mean? Is there a consequence? Is there an actual, like, physical type of consequence? Is it a psychological consequence? You know, I mean, what does that mean? What's the impact of that success or failure on the mortal blade? He's in the water there. Ain't worth getting him, right? It's sort of ridiculous. Unless he comes to shore. Where is he? So, you know, something to deal with. And I find that it's kind of amazing how often I fail to get to the Sanctified Blade in the heat of combat, even though that blade is hotkeyed and all that stuff. I mean, even when I'm at my most confident and think I'm definitely going to be able to do it, I'm definitely going to remember when the battle with the dragon starts, it becomes very difficult to keep to that. All right, bring it. This time we shall succeed. Okay, now, watching his health bar. Let's see if he'll come down and fight us. I'm not sure if I'm going to have to rend him or not. He seems pretty aggressive. So. Okay, here we can see we're taking that. We're taking that breath weapon. No hit to health whatsoever. Alright, he's down significantly. Got him down to about half health. Let's go to Sanctified Blade. Charging power attack. There we go. Now you can see we don't have a lot of levels with the Sanctified Blade. It is much more difficult now. We're doing a lot less damage because I haven't sunk a lot of points. Oh, he's down now. Right, now we got an issue here. Charging power attack. Ooh, I think I missed that one. We are getting two-handed level increases. I like that. Come on. Block is still good, though. Block is a major tool in our arsenal. Come on, beast. I like to engage him in battle, you know, from the front. Gotcha. All right, Sanctified Blade kill right there. Finally, look at that. All right. Now we've got a Death Lord to dispatch before anything else. Wow, look at that. He's using his fists on me. Ooh, hard punches. There we go. Very good. All right. We get a little breather here. Dragon number 2. Now we search him. We're going to take that stuff. And we are going to take 1 dragon scale. That is our counter, if you will. Now the other thing that we can do at high level, obviously, is we could take the dragon bones. We could use that to make a dragon bone bow. So in this build, the only ranged weapon that we are allowed is a dragon bone bow at high level. I have not taken that step because, frankly, my intent from the very start was to really limit exposure to range weapons with this character. So, you know, Dragon Rend is super important. But we do have some play rules that will allow for the use of a dragonbone bow in certain circumstances. If you're interested in that as an option at high level, you can take a look at the build document because the details are kind of laid out there. All right, let's queue up. I'm really liking Ice Form for crowd control, so let's queue that up. Ah, gotcha. Okay, this build, as far as combat tactics go, is all about conservation of stamina, good use of blocking, and good use of the environment. Here I'm using the block to break up their attacks. Come on now. Right? All right. Ice Form, and then attacking one enemy at a time. There we go. I'm using it as if it were paralysis, right? Keeping them off me so I can limit the number of enemies I'm fighting. There we go. And then using the narrow hallway so that, you know, I'm not being flanked. All right. Wow. Let's have a look here. It's the thing, man. The Death Lords, they're tough, especially at legendary difficulty, and then they always have, you know, big nasty weapons. Usually two-handed ebony and glass weapons. So, gets a little scary. But in this particular case, yeah, I'm using Ice Form for crowd control. I'm using the narrow hallway to keep from being flanked. And then just trying to make good use of the shield. The Deadly Bash is great, but it also consumes more stamina. So sometimes it's better to just stand in with the shield up, take the blows, and wait for your opening, rather than expending large amounts of stamina with a shield bash. I will do that from time to time, especially if I'm trying to get one off me so that I can take care of another, that kind of thing. But I spend probably more time looking at my stamina bar than I do my health bar. Because that's really a key for this character. Running out of stamina with this character is kind of the kiss of death, so we got to be very careful where that's concerned. All right. Turn that lantern off. And down. All right, so this is a big, ugly place. Lots of enemies in high spots with ranged weapons. So we're going to use cover as best we can here. Let's get in along this wall to start with. Limit our exposure. Okay. There we go. Got a spellcaster up there. Let's duck in out of here. Get out of range. What's this? More septums. That's good. Add that to the war chest. Okay, now this is a reasonably good place to fight. If I can draw a couple in here. Oh yeah, there we go. Alright. Okay, shield up. I take that shot. He doesn't do a lot of damage to me now. Our armor is... Where we really get into trouble is if we get caught with the shield down. So that's where the shield bash comes in handy. A bash followed by a shot, and that's enough time to get the shield back up without getting hit. Get a shot in, shield that back up. All right. Yeah, it's time for me to take this guy out. Okay, now I do use potions when it makes the most sense, but I prefer to default to healing. And this build, in the restoration tree, we're focused on primarily... Oh, look at that guy. We're using the Respite and Recovery perks. Okay. And those perks give us some nice benefits. Recovery, I believe, is the one that is going to... I don't know if it's Recovery or Respite, but one of them gives us a 50% bonus on healing. So we heal 50% more every time we cast a healing spell on ourselves, which is really handy. And then the other one allows us to also recover stamina with a healing spell, which is also great for us, obviously, with our focus on stamina. Little crowd control there. Now we attack the ones that are still standing. Try to get some good licks in here. Hacking away. Okay, look at that. Look at all of them. Yeesh. Okay, we're going to look for a good spot here. And this is not a good spot. We're surrounded on all sides. Crowd control. Really don't feel like wasting a lot of energy on an Atronach. Okay, there's one down. One. Spellcaster has got to go. There we go. Okay. Okay, charging power attack takes another one. All right. Take one down, fight the other. All right. Okay, we got one up there. That shield back up. He staggers us a little bit. Charging power attack. All right, we maxed out blocking as well. Come on. Get in there. Nice job, Sag. All right, that wasn't too bad. So there wasn't... weren't a lot of great defensible areas. It was kind of wide open here. I thought about pulling back into the tower, which I think could have been a fairly defensible spot where I could funnel them kind of through that narrow doorway. That might have been okay. I was a little concerned about getting trapped in there with so many of them after me. But falling back, fighting retreat is always good. All right. Let's get over here. Nothing up here. All right. All right, up the stairs. Now we got the high ground. I didn't kill that guy. He'll be coming back up. But that's okay. I was more concerned with capturing the high ground at this point. Who else do we got here? Let's make our way all the way over to this altar. See what this is all about. Up we go. Take that. I generally don't bother myself with magicka potions just because I don't cast spells often enough to feel like the wait is worth it. So let's go in here. So I usually leave those behind. I kind of have to pick and choose what I'm going to do here. All right. All right. Here we go. Ah. Okay. Take this guy out. All right. Now, let's get in here. Back to the door. Let's hammer on this guy for a while. Keep him staggered if we can. All right. When I get him staggered, it's sometimes enough for me to get 2 shots in. Alright, another one down. Let's back into our little hidey hole here. Alright. Doesn't look like anything of interest in here. Yeah, it gets a little scary when they're running at you in, you know, big groups of Death Lords with ebony warhammers. Holy crap. It gets a little scary. Okay, I think we're recovered fully at this point. That's good. All right, and out we go. Ha. All right. Bastard. Where is he? Gotcha. All right, let's give him a piece of our mind, huh? Yeah, let's do this. There we go. Beastly. All right, who's that now? Ah, there he is. Let's go this way. Do our own flanking maneuver. Ooh. All right, where is he? Here we go. See if we can take him out before the other one gets back into play. Interrupt that bow shot. So that block is absolutely invaluable tool. That's why I chose sword and board as the basis for this character, just because it's too critical a thing. It's too important to pass up, I think, when fighting dragons and large numbers of enemies. So where did our guy go? Is he down below here? There he is. There we go. Finish him off. I really don't think I could be happier with just the combat performance of this character. Ooh. More up there. What the heck? Come on, let me see ya. Let me see ya. Oh. Shout us, interrupt us. Come on down here. Stupid. Oh, yeah. Alright, I don't think we're going to get him this way. Let's head on in here. I think if I had 2 additional shouts and or 2 additional words in ice form, I might have been able to freeze him, and then he would topple down where I could get at him. But all right. Large open space. Looking for defensible areas. I tend to follow the outside edges of the space to start with. Not picking up those poisons. If you've been following this build, you know this is a character that is not big on alchemy, and especially not poisons. He's very much of a up-front type of combat fighter. Look your enemy in the eye as you're fighting them. Kind of a code that he lives by. Oop. Flank potential there. He got a shot in on me there. Alright, let's freeze one of them. Oh, 2 of them. That's good. Bonus. Well, this one's closer to being dead. So let's... Alright. Now we must have another one up there. Couple shots. Shield up. This is a better alternative to being up in that intersection where they could attack me from 3 sides, so... Stun the one to get at his buddy, who is now out of it. Alright. Probably could have got another shot in there. It's okay. Ouch. Yeah, I took some shots there I probably shouldn't have. Let's heal quick. To shield. Not much gold on these bastards. I'd like to see more gold. Okay, let's get up here in this intersection. This is a connecting tunnel, right? Yes. Ow. I'm finding more and more often that the occasions when I use Unrelenting Force are very specialized. In other words, I typically don't go to Unrelenting Force unless I'm in a position where I can use Unrelenting Force to blow enemies off ledges and put them in places where they're not a threat. I'm finding the capabilities of ice form in crowd control situations, even with only one word, has far more utility than Unrelenting Force. So look at that. I'm using Ellie's Uncapper, so I'm able to gain levels over 100. And we've gone up 2 levels in one-handed. Just since entering Skuldafn, which is crazy. I've acquired, I believe, a level in heavy armor, a level in blocking, and these are high levels. These are levels that should be really slow to advance, so that's awesome. Okay. We good? No, we're not good. One shot. Gonna get him out. Who's next? The arrow blocking capabilities of the block tree, there's a perk that lets you deflect arrows. Seems to be marginal at best. I mean, the shield has to be up, and you almost have to be lined straight up with them, almost as if you have to anticipate the angle that they're going to fire at you, and if you're not lined up perfectly, it doesn't seem to deflect very well. Which makes sense. I mean, it should be hard to do. But it doesn't happen very often, I've noticed. Okay, so this one, are they giving us any sort of clue here? Because I don't see a clue. My assumption is there's going to be some kind of a heinous trap. So maybe what we do is nothing. But no trap either. So let's just run through them. Nope. And continuing on. Boy, I love Skuldafn. It's been a long time since I played through this. I've only completed this quest line once. There was another door over here. I just want to see if it's collapsed or what the situation is. Oh, there's a chest. That's good. Barbarian helmet. Stamina will take. Stamina potions are good. You never know. Although we have a very deep well of stamina. So at this point, advanced to level 52. I did, between the last... After the last load screen, I went ahead and advanced to level 52. I put my points into health. And then I took the last level in the base heavy armor perk. So I'm at Juggernaut 5 out of 5 right now. So we've increased our defensive capabilities a little bit since we were outside, which is good. I have the high ground, you bastard. Come on. Ooh, you got friends. I don't like that. I'll fight you. We'll wait for him to snap out of it. There we go. Come on. Got a lot of licks in on him before he even gets a chance to bring his blade to bear. There we go. That was good. Good timing there. All right, what do you got? Took those lockpicks. We don't use lockpicks, so I'm taking those out of habit. So we're going to get rid of those. Obviously, this is a really tanky character, this build. However, we do have some emphasis on alteration magic and restoration magic. And I like that because, on the one hand, alteration is kind of a defensive magic. We're using it for the perks that give us magic resistance, obviously, and occasionally for the armor spells, which I think is befitting of a character who has a somewhat clerical type of image, which the Mortal Blade does. And then on the restoration side of things, of course, healing magic being important, but specifically those perks in restoration that benefit our stamina regen and our ability to heal ourselves. The introduction of those magic capabilities on a character that's primarily a tank, I think, gives us some really great, unique roleplay opportunities as well when it comes to getting into the Mage College questline. I think it's completely viable that a character like this would go at least part of the way through that quest line. Which I like. I like the versatility of that. It gives us access to a quest line that we might not otherwise consider with characters who are primarily fighters. Oh, I got you cornered. Ha. You'll probably also notice here that I almost never go into stealth mode. Like this. There's no need. I alternate between running and walking. And I think that it makes sense from a play perspective, just because this build has no interest in stealth. That's not what he's about. But there's something about grabbing your sword and walking slowly into the dungeon and laying waste to things that I think is befitting of this character from a roleplay perspective. So, okay, now we're gonna... Got him on the ropes. Come on. Ooh, those range weapons are just the worst. Okay, got those guys out of the fight for a minute. Let's have a quick look around. See what else we're up against, or if it's just those guys. Gotcha. Ooh, he got a lick in on us. All right. Bam. Sagramour, you beastly bastard, you. Love it. All right. So what do we got here? Snake. Okay. There's my clue. We're going to go to the eagle. Or as Vander would say, the pigeon. Okay, this will be the whale. Let's get that going. The versatility of this character from a roleplay perspective, I think, is awesome. Because the concept allows you to pursue magic. It allows you to read books. It allows you to be scholarly and kind of do all these things, and at the same time enjoy the benefits and the gameplay associated with being tanky, you know, with being the brutal warrior, if you will, which I thoroughly enjoy. Plus the aspects of spirituality and the flexibility of having that spirituality tied to ancestor worship rather than gods, I think is pretty awesome, because it opens up a lot of potential avenues of roleplay and pursuit of side quests. We've mentioned before that side quests like, you know, Agent of Mara, for example. I mean, a barbarian type of a warrior might not pursue something like Agent of Mara that is all about, you know, helping people find love, you know. that's a totally Mara thing. But it is not necessarily a barbarian warrior type of pursuit, right? Well, this character, given the sort of spiritual or clerical image that he has and the belief system that he has, can pursue quests like that and make them look good and make them fun and have them make sense, which I absolutely love. Okay, it is now on to the temple, my friends.